Hey, it's Grayson from GraysonCarter.com, and today I want to talk to you about an update to some of the niche sites that I've built and how much money they're making and some of the things that I've learned along the way to building these passive income streams. So the title of this topic today is how I made a $1,254 per month income stream using just 2 1-week sprints. So this isn't something that I work on all the time. I wanted this to be kind of a side hustle that I put a sprint of work into a week at a time, and then just let it coast and see how much money I can make from it. So those are the sites I'm going to be showing you today and what I've learned from doing that. So the first site, and I talked about this, if you're on my email list, I talked about this a bit last year, but created this site in mid 2021. And over the last 30 days, it has made $772 from 22,000 visits. Once I saw that that was working, it started making significant money at the end of last year. I decided to do it again. So this year I built another website from a 1-week sprint, and in the last 30 days, that site has done $482 from almost 10,000 visits. Now, to give you some perspective, we also put ads on our Nutritionist Near Me website. If you have a free account, there's gonna be ads on the profiles. If you have a premium account, all those ads are removed. So we do make a little bit of money from that. But I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about why maybe going into nutrition to make money blogging is not necessarily the best niche to be in, because you can see here, from 6,600 visits, we made $62, whereas this other site, which is a completely different niche, unrelated to nutrition, it had 50% more traffic, but it made almost 8 times as much money. So that's just different niches make different amounts of money, and it's something to consider before you double down on the niche that you are going to be creating your site about. So a little bit of backstory. If you're on my email list, you got this email in December of 2021, so almost a year ago. Basically, in the middle of last year, I got an idea for a niche website that I thought I would be able to rank on Google and start making some ad revenue from. So my goal was to build it as quick and as simple as possible. So I called it quick and dirty. There's no logo. There was no design skills. I literally used like a stock free theme from the WordPress repository and put up a few posts to see how Google would treat it, to see if I could get any sort of rankings to get it to start showing up somewhere in Google. Because my question was, how much could I earn from an AdSense site? That's the ad platform that I was using, from an AdSense site that I built in 1 week. And could I do it with basically 100% free tools? So how could I test this out with very little invested, except maybe a little bit of time, and see how much I could make from that? So I wasn't able to do it completely free. There's a few things that I had to buy. One of those was the domain registration. So I need to buy the website domain. And technically, my hosting was not free, but I'm already paying for it for my other websites, GraysonCarter.com, and a few of my other websites that I own. So adding an additional website on that didn't cost me any more money. So there was no marginal increase in cost. I did all the keyword research with the Google Keyword Tool as well as Google Search Console, 2 free tools that are available to you on Google. So a little bit more of the cost breakdown. So the only thing that cost me money out of pocket was the domain name. Hosting was free. It was a free WordPress theme. Yoast SEO plugin, that's free. Keyword tool, Search Console. And what I started with was, my goal was to write 3 to 5 blog posts a day for a week and get those up on the site. So we got to about, I think we started with like 24 posts from 300 to 800 words. And what that grew to was, in May 2021, it only made 14 cents. So we started to get points on the board, but it was basically nothing. Over the course of the next 6-7 months, it grew to a height of $829 a month. And that's basically just from this initial week sprint. I didn't add anything. I didn't build any backlinks. There was really nothing else to do once this was already built. So I just got it up there, and over time, it started ranking better and better. And the more traffic that we got, the more money that it made. One thing I've learned is that there was a lot of seasonality to this topic. So December, January, February, kind of the winter seasons around the holidays perform much better. So we're going into that now. So I'm anticipating hitting some of our record highs going into December, going into January. And I'll be excited to see how much more we can push it past this record number so far. So that's site number 1. Now, because it started working, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm making $800 a month from relatively little work. All I have to do is do a couple of updates, like plugin updates, maybe every month, but very little time invested to taking care of it. No additional content. I decided to do it again. So put together another website and picked a new topic, built a new site, but same thing as before. Just paid for the domain name. Hosting was free. All the tools were free. And in June of this year, it made $0. I forget when it made its first dollar. I think it was, must have been the beginning of July. And then by October, it made $480 that month. And again, that's from 25 blog posts. So what have I learned so far from doing this, and how do I think I can help you with your own make money blogging journey? So the first thing I learned is that different niches have dramatically different earning potentials. And if I did not plan on offering a premium nutrition service like high-end coaching or courses or something like that, I probably would not go into the nutrition space to do blogging. Now, there's certainly people that make money doing it, and that's awesome for them. But I would argue that that same amount of effort, that same amount of work would make them significantly more money in a different niche. So you're already having to create the site, write the articles, do research. If you applied that to a niche that had higher earning potential, from that same amount of work, you could make significantly more money from it. So now, if you are planning to offer high-end services, then the traffic to your website, you're going to make some money from the ad revenue. But when you upsell people into your coaching, or maybe you have some products or courses, then you could make significantly more money on it. But if you were just writing articles and trying to make money from ad revenue, it wouldn't be the niche that I would go into. All right, next is making money blogging is, in my experience, it's 5% writing skills and 95% SEO skills. So yes, it's important that you have good content and that you're writing stuff that's helpful for people. But if you can write at a 6th grade basic level, but you have really good SEO skills, you're going to outperform people that have PhDs in writing, but don't know how to do SEO. And to me, SEO really boils down to doing keyword research so that you're writing about topics that are relatively low competition. So it's going to be easy for you to rank for those keywords. Doing on-page optimization, so making sure that Google understands that those keywords that you're writing about, that's the intent of the page, and so they're likely to rank you higher. And then lastly, the tech part. So does your site load quick? What's the user experience? Does it look good on mobile? All the tech side, caching, CDNs, all that stuff, which for the most part, there's tools out there that make that piece pretty easy. But as long as that is optimized, then you're going to do really well. So rather than going out and trying to become a better writer or trying to make it sound more impressive, I think you're better off practicing your SEO skills. And the more you improve there, the more money you're going to make from your blog. Next is there may be more. You'll be able to make significantly more revenue by switching ad networks. So when I was starting, all I used was AdSense, and AdSense is pretty easy to get approved for, but they have the lowest payouts. Now, I had my eyes set on getting to enough traffic that I could get listed on Mediavine, which is just another ad platform. But Mediavine has a minimum amount of traffic that you need to get before they'll accept you onto their platform. So you have to get like 50,000 visitors a month in order to be accepted. So I'm not at that now, and I'm hoping to be at this time next year because they pay out significantly higher rates. But what I learned was that there are tons of other ad platforms that are kind of in that middle ground between AdSense and Mediavine that pay out way more than AdSense, maybe not quite as much as Mediavine, but that you can make significantly more money from. So that was something I didn't realize how many were out there. And once I found like where to look and which ones were going to be best for my niche, then I started making more money just from switching which ads were going on the page. Next, monthly cash flow is awesome, but what I didn't realize until recently was that these sites can be sold for anywhere from 35x to 45x their monthly revenue. So to give you perspective, if a site is making $1,000 a month, that site can easily be sold for anywhere from $35,000 to $45,000. So certainly $1,000 a month would be helpful for people. Maybe that pays your rent or most of your rent or pays your car payments. But the great thing that I had never thought of is that there are tons of places where you can sell these websites and people can buy these websites. And it's a pretty standard thing now. And I didn't realize that until I started building these sites, that it's common for people to pay this much money for those sites. So if I'm making $1,000 a day right now, I have an asset that I could easily sell for, let's say, $40,000 whenever I feel like I don't want to maintain it anymore. Another way to think about this is that by squeezing out an additional $1 per day that the site is producing, you're increasing the value, the sale price, by $1,200. So this is great because not only do you collect that monthly cash flow for every month that you own the site, but you're also building an asset that when you sell it eventually, you can really cash in all that revenue. So it's like paying you to hold it and it's paying you to sell it. So you're able to make money in two ways there. The more money you publish, the more you publish, the more money you'll make. That's when you make money in the make money blogging space. The more content you have out there, the more money you're going to make. That's just the truth of the matter. Unfortunately, publishing is kind of the hardest part of the make money blogging aspect. Trying to come up with new ideas, write new posts, get those to rank. in my experience, the easiest wins that you'll get, and this is what I've seen from myself and the few people that I've tested this with, is that your easiest wins will come from improving your existing content, not from writing new content. So I call this the iceberg method because once you have content that starts ranking and getting a little bit of traffic, the amount of traffic that you are getting, the amount of money that you're already making, is dwarfed by the amount of money that you could be making from all these other keywords that you could potentially be ranking for, but you're not, which is actually really good because it means that there's a ton of potential for any post to make significantly more money because there's things that Google wants to rank you for, but you're just not ranking for them yet. Maybe you're on page 2, maybe you're on page 10, but they're not getting any traffic for those keywords yet. And if we can go back and we can optimize those blog posts for those other keywords, then you're going to rank for even more things and you're going to make significantly more money. Now, the reason I like doing that is that it's so much easier to go back and update a blog post and add some content to it than try to create something completely from scratch. So what I'll usually do is once I publish a post and I see how it's doing, I'll look at the analytics, I'll see what I could be ranking for, and then I'll go improve the post, and it's going to rank for more things and it's going to make me more money. Well, the amount of time it takes for me to improve it is only a fraction of what it would take for me to write a completely new blog post. So this is something I see happen all the time, is that you put a ton of work into writing a blog post, and then you publish it, and then you'll never touch it again. And I think you're leaving at least 50% of the revenue you could be making on the table by not going back and improving it after it's been live for at least 30 days. The longer it's been live, the better, the more data that there's going to be collected that we can look at. But going back and improving those articles takes only a handful of minutes, and it's just so much easier than trying to come up with a new 2,000 word article from scratch. All right. So why am I sharing all this? Well, I have been nerding out on this. I think this is going to be something that I'm spending more time on over the next handful of months. My goal is to grow that $1,200 a month. How much was it? $1,254 a month income stream. My goal is to double this in the next 6 months. And if I have a $2,500 a month income stream or portfolio of sites that's making that much money, for $2,500 a month, I can potentially sell that portfolio for 6 figures. And that's just kind of a vanity metric for me, that I'd love to be able to say that I grew a niche portfolio and sold it for over $100,000. And I think that's very reasonable to do in the next 6 months with the way the traffic's going and how much content, how well the content's doing already. So since I'm going to be working on this, I thought, why not bring a couple people along and show them what I'm doing and put together a little money sprint where we get to work together to see if we can do this for your site, for your blog. So I don't intend for this to be a fundamentals course. Like if your eyes glaze over when I say things like title tag or sitemaps or SERPs, if you don't know what any of those things are, then this won't be a good fit for you. But what I want to do is put a handful of people together, and then we're going to work together it's going to be a combination of live Zoom calls, and we'll record those, but also one-on-one with me, where we're going to be reviewing your site, doing some audits, and putting a game plan together to improve your the amount of money that you're making from each one of your posts. So my first goal is to squeeze out an additional $1 per day from at least 5 of your posts. So to give you a rough estimate of what that would break down to, $1 a day times 5 posts, that's only $150 more per month, which may not be that exciting, but you've also just increased the value of your website by $6,000 if you ever decide to sell it. So that's just going to be our starting point. If you have dozens of posts or even hundreds of posts, if we can start squeezing out even an extra $1 a day from each of those, that's going to add up very, very quickly. Some of these are going to pull out more than that. Some are going to pull out less, but that's going to be our first goal, is getting that extra $1 a day from 5 of your posts to get that additional revenue stream coming in for you. So that's what I'm thinking. I have no idea if anybody's going to be wanting to come along for the ride, but this is something I'm going to be spending time doing. And if you're interested, I would love to have you come along with me. We'll work together to pull out some more revenue from your existing site. My ask, if you've got something out of this and you've watched this far, comment or text me and tell me 2 things. Tell me where you're at in your blogging journey. Like, have you not started? Which is totally okay. If you have no idea where to start, there's a ton of great courses that I can direct you to that kind of walk you through step by step how to set up a site, how to pick a topic, all that good stuff. I can point you in that right direction. If you've started and you have some posts, but you're not making any money yet, that's okay too. It's great that you're taking the first steps. Or are you making more than $1 a month? To me, if you're making more than even just $1 a month with your site, it means that you have all the things in place. And now it's really just about putting some fuel on the fire and seeing how much we can grow it. Let me know that. And then lastly, are you interested in being part of this money sprint? Wherever you're watching this video, leave me something in the comments, or if that's not your thing, text me. This comes directly to me. This is my cell phone number, 714-406-5815, and we can have a little chat there.